You're out here trying to save $10 on groceries, while billionaires are literally printing billions with a signature on a piece of paper. You kill yourself trying to save 10% of your paycheck, while they build assets that make money in their sleep. You think you're playing the right game, but the truth is, you're playing a game that was designed for you to lose. And the worst part, they taught you to be proud of it. But why? How can the gap between effort and reward be so massive? The answer lies in what no one ever explained to you. Here's the brutal truth. Most people are broke, not because they re-lazy or dumb, but because they re-playing on a rigged board, following rules created by the people who own the board. And rule number 1 is this: you work for money. They print money through assets, debt, and influence. No, this isn't some motivational hustle talk. This is not grind set content. This is systems engineering. This is how the real world works. And that is why you need to stop everything you're already doing and pay attention to what I am about to show you. Because this knowledge is worth more than any degree y'all ever get. Today, I am going to show you how the rich literally create money out of thin air. While you feel guilty for spending $15 on DoorDash, I'll show you how this system was built to glorify the working class grind, while the ones actually making money never break a sweat. And by the end, I'll show you how you can flip the game, even if you're restarting with zero. Have you ever asked yourself why, despite working hard, saving every penny, skipping the lattes, and doing everything right, you still feel stuck financially? The answer is simple. Money isn't what you think it is, and school made damn sure you never figured that out. Because if you knew how the game actually works, you'd stop playing like a pawn. Modern money isn't backed by anything. Not gold, not oil, nothing. No government on earth backs their currency with gold anymore. Not since Nixon ended the gold standard in 1971. That was the moment the dollar became pure fiction. Collective fiction. A belief system. A stage play. And on that stage, the ones controlling the spotlight, central banks, private banks, and megacorporations, can literally create wealth out of thin air. Meanwhile, you're clocking 40+ hours a week just to keep your fridge half full. Ever wonder how the government can take out a $2 trillion loan in a week? That money didn't exist. It was typed into a system, turned into debt securities, and handed to the public. With interest. That's right. Imaginary numbers became real debt, and you're the one stuck paying it back. Now imagine that same trick, but on a personal scale. That's what the rich do. They access millions in credit lines, using assets as collateral. Use that money to buy more assets and collect returns, grow their net worth. All without touching real money. It's called leverage, and when the system crashes, the government bails them out. With your tax dollars. Losses are socialized. Profits are privatized. It's an elegant, legalized heist. And all the while, you're taught that money doesn't grow on trees. Funny, because it does. If you're the one planting banks, debt, and influence, you work for money. They create it with contracts, bonds, loopholes, holding companies, and financial instruments most people can't even pronounce. You're taught to cut expenses. They're taught to scale good debt, the kind that generates cash flow. You're afraid of your credit card. They use credit as a springboard. And here's the cruelest part. They convinced you that being responsible means living below your means, saving in a savings account, while they're buying assets that produce infinite returns. You save $5,000 and feel like you won. They make $5 million in an IPO and don't even blink. You're told investing is risky. They know not investing is the biggest risk of all. Traditional education trained you to be a loyal employee, not to understand the system. They raised you to be obedient, punctual, humble, and realistic. But they never told you that in this system, the ones who keep their feet on the ground get trampled by the ones who learned how to fly. Now that you see the board for what it really is, you understand why saving isn't enough. Inflation eats your cash. The cost of living keeps rising. Interest rates crush your future. And while you're stressing over saving $200 a month, they're raising $2 million in a funding round. And somehow, you're still made to feel guilty for not trying harder. While you're waking up at 6 a.m., squeezing into packed trains, and skipping Starbucks to save $80 this month. Someone is literally printing millions from a desk chair. And no, that's not a metaphor. It's literal. Through banks, assets, and public debt instruments, they manufacture money like it's a game. But the system was designed to make you believe that the rich just worked harder. Spoiler, they played a different game entirely. Let's start with banks. Most people have no idea, and fewer understand, that commercial banks don't lend your money. They create new money. The same money is multiplied over and over. That's not circulation, that's creation. Money from nothing but the debt. The debt is real, with interest. And guess who pays the price for this invisible circus? You. Now we get to the second pillar of the modern financial illusion, the government. When the US government spends more than it collects, it issues public debt, selling bonds that promise future repayment. Who buys those bonds? Big banks, hedge funds, and institutional investors. But when the hole gets too big, and even the interest on that debt becomes unpayable, guess what happens? The Fed prints more money. Sounds like a solution? It's not. It's called inflation, and it quietly erodes the value of your paycheck. Prices rise, your dollar buys less, and the ones hit hardest are everyday workers earning fixed wages. And when your morning coffee jumps from $2 to $4, the embedded taxes go up too. That's the invisible tax. But the wealthy, they don't hold cash. They hold assets, real estate, companies, stocks, royalties, things that pay them without them having to sell a thing. And here's the dirty secret your high school economics class never told you. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, he didn't sell Tesla shares. He used those shares as collateral for a massive loan. Translation? He bought a company using other people's money, tax-free. Because in America, you're only taxed when you sell an asset, not when you leverage it. That's not genius. That's knowing how to play the game. Meanwhile, you're begging for a raise that bumps you into a higher tax bracket. And the worst part? When the wealthy go broke, they don't go broke like you. They're in debt with assets. You're in debt with liabilities. They hold income-producing properties. You hold credit card bills. They earn with time. You spend a lifetime trying to stay afloat. This isn't capitalism. It's a financial caste system. The rich understand one thing nobody ever taught you. Money isn't stored in banks. It's parked in assets that pay your bills for you. Wealth isn't about your bank balance. It's about how many income-generating assets you control, even if you disappeared for a month. If you still believe building wealth means earning more and spending less, you're playing by rules designed to keep you obedient. Because while you save $200 a month in a savings account, someone else is borrowing $2 million below inflation, buying companies, collecting profits, and paying no taxes. That's the game. and no classroom is going to teach it to you. Here's the brutal truth. If you were born broke, that's not your fault. But if you die broke in a world where money is literally made out of thin air, that S on you. And I don't say that to shame you. I say it because there's a way out. And it's not through clipping coupons or praying for a raise. It starts with understanding the game being played behind the curtain. First thing to remember, money is not wealth. Money is just a number on a screen. Real wealth is the ability to own or create assets that pay you without trading your time. While you're trading hours for dollars, someone else is trading ideas for equity. That's the shift. It's not about how much you make. It's about what you do with what you make. You want to change your life? Stop saving money. Start accumulating assets. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket month after month without needing your time. Dividend-paying stocks, a YouTube channel that earns for you, royalties, rental properties, even a trademark. And here, that's the trick. Wealthy people don't keep cash in banks because banks, and when they need money, they use those assets as collateral to get low-interest loans without selling a thing and without triggering taxes. Don't pay. They keep it in cash-flowing assets. You can start small. Buy your first dividend stock. It's not about the amount, it's about the habit. Then reinvest the profits. Master compound interest. Learn to think like an owner, not a worker. The next move, build scalable income. That means earning more without working more. Sell a digital product, launch a subscription service, write an ebook, offer coaching. Because if the only way you earn is by showing up, you're just a Wi-Fi-enabled slave. And here's the kicker. The system will try to convince you that investing is risky. But what's really risky? Investing in assets, or working 40 years for a company that can fire you over an email. You want to play the rich man's game? Then think like the rich. Study taxes, even if you hate it. The rich don't dodge taxes illegally. They understand tax law better than the IRS. They set up holdings, do estate planning, and legally multiply wealth while you still think registering an LLC makes you an entrepreneur. And one more secret nobody wants to say out loud. The new money isn't in banks. It's in digital assets, niche communities, personal branding, traffic, attention. The currency of the future isn't dollars. It's influence plus access plus authority. You can be a nobody today and still build a revenue machine with just a smartphone. You just need to stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a creator. Remember this, banks lend you money only when you prove you don't need it. The system respects people who learned how to live outside it. And once you master that, you stop chasing money. Money starts chasing you. Maybe you've even stuck because you believed the system's cruelest lie. That money is scarce, hard to get, and reserved for a lucky few. But that's not true. The truth is, money is just a tool, and most people were never taught how to use it. You're not dumb. You were deceived, and that's the best news you could hear. Because recognizing the illusion is the first step to breaking free. You don't have to carry the ignorance of your parents, your teachers, or the media. You can break the chain. But freedom doesn't come from luck or a magical promotion. It comes from choosing to learn how to turn the system against itself. Because a man who doesn't control his money is a slave. A man who doesn't control his emotions is just a boy with a beard. You might feel like you're out of options. But the truth is, most of today's millionaires weren't born rich. They figured out that the real control isn't in your account. It's in your mindset, your strategy, your worldview. So here is the truth nobody told you. If you keep doing what you have always done, you'll keep being who you've always been. If you want to change your life, you need to change your game. And the money game? It's way more about emotional intelligence, strategic vision, and courage than it is about luck or hustle. While you're stuck in the outdated idea of saving to have something one day, someone else is printing money, creating assets, and gaining power. And that someone isn't some untouchable elite. It is an ordinary person who chose to learn the rules. Yes, money is an illusion, but that illusion can either be your prison or your key to freedom. The choice is yours. If this finally opened your eyes, drop a comment that says, "I woke up." And if you want more truth like this, hit that follow button, because this is just the beginning.